Evening. Welcome to this Monday's guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. I'm Wai Cheong. So as usual, I'll be guiding you through two meditations in the next hour. I thought today we can explore the theme of seeing and using meditation as a resource to support us, especially when we find ourselves very stressed out, we're going through a difficult times, and we probably find ourselves dealing with a lot of pain, physical pain, or mental agitation, and so on. From past experiences, from what I heard from others as well as my own experience, our meditation practice is probably the first thing that we sort of chuck out of the window when things get difficult, when we feel a lot of uncertainty, or we're very stressed, or we are overwhelmed with unpleasant feelings, physical or mental, emotional. Yeah. So no guilt. If we find too much to deal with, then that's perfectly fine. We just drop it, and then we can always pick it up our meditation practice later when things change. But alternatively, we can also maybe now practice meditation from a point of view of using it, viewing it as a resource at a time of difficulty, a time of great turmoil or emotional upheaval. Maybe we can actually meditate in the midst of that, and maybe that meditation can support us. What's the first and foremost, the thing we need to let go if we want to do that is this idea of meditating perfectly. Maybe there is no such thing as a perfect meditation. And maybe, of course, when we are very agitated or we have lots of stuff happening in our life, we are most likely not going to be very calm or peaceful, or we may find it very difficult to concentrate in our meditation. And then those are totally understandable and to be expected, right? But then again, even now, let's say things are relatively peaceful, let's say, we also have similar hindrances, maybe not as intense and not as overwhelming, but even day to day, we also have hindrances. Yeah. So why not approach our meditation a little bit differently? Think of using it, or that our meditation can be a support for us, both during peaceful times and also during difficult times. I think so. The first trick is not to place unrealistic expectation on ourselves, especially when things are tough. As I usually say, the secret of happiness, definitely secret of happiness in meditation, is to start from a lower standard. So maybe at difficult time you can lower your standard even more, and start from there. And maybe you can find that meditation can help. It doesn't solve all the problems. It's not going to make things go away, but it can be a very helpful support and resource for us. So first meditation, as usual, calm abiding. Maybe it's helpful to not think of calm abiding meditation as requiring you to have perfect concentration. In fact, we engage in calm abiding meditation in order, precisely because we don't have perfect concentration. We can't calm down. Hence, we rely on the meditation to see whether it can help us bring about some positive change. And in this calm abiding meditation, which is the usual one, what I call touch and release, I want to draw your attention to a feature in this meditation, which you can maybe replicate in other ways. One of the things that really help the mind to calm down, to settle down, is to give the mind a task, so to speak, something to engage our attention in a fixed sequence of items. Something as simple as counting from 1 to 10 can actually be quite calming. Maybe not to a great extent, but a little bit. Just tell yourself to count from 1 to 10. Of course, I hope you count in sequence instead of jumping here and there. Just having to go through a fixed sequence in itself can be very reassuring to the mind. As the mind know what to do next. Okay, I count number 1, the next one I need to count number 2, then after that it's number 3, 4, and eventually arrive at the 10. And along the way, as the attention engages with that sequence, fixed is very important, fixed, definite sequence, you find that as more attention engage with that task, engage in that sequence, less and less attention is available to be distracted, to be available to fewer the agitated thoughts or worries. So much so that by the time you arrive at the end of the sequence, you are just a little bit calmer than before you begin the sequence. So here the sequence is, I'm going to guide you through the whole body, part by part, point by point. At each part of the body, I invite you synchronize with the rhythm of the natural breath. On the in-breath, to notice, to be aware, or to allow the sensations at that part of the body to come into awareness. And on the out-breath, to do nothing, to just do nothing apart from saying in your mind the word release. Now, by saying the word release, I'm not expecting you, nor should you expect yourself to do anything, to relax, none of that. Just merely repeating the magic word release, which is like a kind of a trigger, a reminder, reminding our own body and mind that they are actually capable of letting go of that stress reaction, release that whole chain of thoughts or worries. Our body and mind are actually capable of letting go. We just need to remind them. How are they going to do it? No idea. But if you were to do this a few times, you may find that, at least for me, sometimes by the time I scan the body till I reach my foot, my shoulders start to relax. A bit of a delayed reaction, but hey, late is better than never. So the releasing starts to happen all by itself, simply by us creating the conditions conducive for it. So the conditions here is send our attention down through a fixed sequence, in this case, sequence through the different parts of our body. At each part of the body, invite our attention to come back to synchronize with the in-breath, to be in touch with the sensations with very little effort. Just notice how it feels, that's all. Now on the out-breath, to reinforce the reminder with the word release. And let's see whether what sort of effect we are able to facilitate when we go through this meditation, and see whether it is can be something helpful for us. Right? So let's adjust our body, find a suitable meditation posture, and I'm just going to ring this bell to signal the start of the meditation. So posture is important on days when we feel we don't have much energy, we are not able to sustain the effort of sitting upright, like what I'm doing now on the chair or on the floor. Then by all means lie down. Lie down in the supine position or in some reclining position that feels comfortable and allow the body to feel supported. So take care that in whichever posture we adopt, that we ensure that our spine, our back is at ease, that the posture has not introduced additional strain or tension or discomfort into our back or spine. Rest the hands and arms on some physical supports so that we do not have to tense up our shoulder muscles or arm muscles unnecessarily to hold them up. And feel free to close your eyes completely or leave them open or half open, whichever way that works best for you. So let's give our body a few moments to get used to the posture, to adjust, to find its way into the posture. As usual, I invite you to become aware of the sensations coming through at the touch points between body and seat, body and ground, to allow your body and yourself to feel that the body is resting on a solid, firm, and stable surface in this meditation. As the body gets the message that it is now well supported and well balanced, it can, in its own time, begin the natural process of loosening up. It can conserve energy by releasing some of those unnecessary tightness and contractions. And we will find that our body is gradually settling down more and more comfortably into the posture. Next, to facilitate the transition of body and mind into meditation, we're going to take quite a bit of time to reconnect our attention, our mind with the body sensations, the different parts of the body. And at each part of the body, starting at the crown, I'm going to invite you to synchronize with the natural rhythm of your breath, such that on the in-breath, see if you can let into your awareness sensations at that part of the body. Breathing in, be aware of sensations at the crown. Just a light touch, see if you can notice any tingling sensations or feeling of pressure, sense of coolness or warmth. Or maybe you notice no sensation at all. And on the out breath, to remind yourself, your body and mind with the word release. So at the crown, breathing in, be in touch. Breathing out, release at your own pace. Releasing our attention from the crown, allow our attention to move downwards to the forehead, resting our attention at the point between the eyebrows, so that as we breathe in, we are in touch, we are aware, and as we breathe out, we release. Be aware of sensations at the face, sensation at the forehead, aware of tensions in the face. And on the out breath, remind yourself, body and mind, to release. Maybe you may find that as the facial muscles relax, a feeling of softness, of ease and relaxation may appear at your face. And see if you can allow yourself to enjoy their subtle pleasures if they do appear. Moving further down to the throat, the same way, breathing in, be in touch, out and release at your own pace. Let's direct our attention now to the right shoulder, pick a spot. Breathing in, be in touch with sensations here at the right shoulder, allowing those sensations to come into awareness. Breathing out, remind yourself to release. Simply acknowledge any sensations we find here. Acknowledge even if they are unpleasant, uncomfortable, tense or tight, without feeling the need to deliberately change anything. Simply allow those sensations to come into awareness. And on the out breath, remember to release. We let attention travel down to the right elbow. Breathe in, be in touch. Out and release. Releasing, we move on down to the right wrist, such that as we breathe in, we allow sensations, subtle sensations at the right wrist to come into awareness. And as we breathe out, we mentally say the word release. We imagine attention flow into the right hand so that as we breathe in, we are in touch with sensations at the hand, the palm, the back of the hand, sensations at the fingers. And as we breathe out, release. Releasing, giving permission to release the weight of the right arm and hand. Simply allow it to rest that weight comfortably on its physical support. Switching side, invite attention to come back to the body, come back to the left shoulder. Breathing in, be aware of sensations at the left shoulder. Breathing out, release. Moving further down to the left elbow. Breathe in, be in touch. Breathe out, release. Not to be upset if our mind is easily distracted, because at every part of the body is an opportunity to invite our attention to come back here and now, to come back to our body, in this case to come back to the left elbow. Allowing attention to move further down to the left wrist. Breathe in, be in touch, out and release. As we gather more and more attention and channel them into now the left hand, such that as we breathe in, we are in touch with sensations here at the left hand. And as we breathe out, we deepen the sense of release. Returning our attention to the chest, to the center, the heart center, the place where we normally feel strong feelings and emotions. Breathing in, be in touch with sensations here. Breathing out, release. We allow our attention to move on further down to the abdomen at the region of the navel. Breathing in, be aware of sensations here at this spot. Breathing out, release. Allow our attention to descend further to the base of the spine, at the very tip of the tailbone. Imagine we breathe into this spot, to sense, to be aware of sensations here, and then breathe out to release. Breathing out, releasing, we give permission to rest the weight of our pelvis comfortably on its physical support. Moving down the right leg, starting from the right hip joint, breathe into this spot. May not be precise, that's fine, just pick a spot. Place your awareness there, noticing on the in-breath, the sensations here. Release on the out-breath. Allow attention to travel down to the right knee. Breathe in, be in touch, out and release at the right knee. Let attention travel down to the right ankle, touch and release at our own pace. Let attention travel down to the right foot, so that as we breathe in, we are in touch with sensations at the right foot, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, including sensations at the toes. Breathing out, release. Here, see if we can give permission and release the weight of our right leg. Allow it to rest comfortably on the floor or its physical support. Switching side, rest our attention at the left hip joint. Breathe in, be in touch, out and release. Moving down to the left knee, touch and release. Moving down to the left ankle, touch and release. The attention flow into the left foot, so that we are aware of sensations here on the in-breath and release on the out-breath. We release the weight of the left leg, simply allow it to rest comfortably on the floor or its physical support. And now that we have sent our awareness from crown all the way to feet, rest our body in this posture. Allow the body to continue to unwind, to loosen up, and to settle down into the posture. Rest our awareness with the body. Continue to be in touch with the sensations from the different parts of the body, to be in touch with the sensations of the breath. And on the out breath, continue to deepen the sense of release. inviting our attention to come back here and now to the breath, to the sensations of the different parts of the body. Breathing out, deepening the sense of release. At any point of time when we do notice any pleasant sensations arise, any feeling of physical release or mental release, a sense of ease or comfort, see if you can welcome those feelings into the meditation. Be aware of them, allow ourselves to enjoy them. Okay, so there is one way of using meditation practice to support us. In this case, utilizing a fixed sequence of points along the body to invite our attention to come back to in that sequence. And hopefully, at least for myself, quite often when I do remember to do this meditation and I do go through it, inevitably there is some effect. Because after all, when I'm doing it for myself, I need to pay more attention. I need to remind myself to continue with that sequence. And that takes up a bit of my energy or my attention. And in so doing, gather that attention into the meditation, engage with the meditation. And the more we are able to engage the energy of our attention with whatever it is we are meditating, the less the energy, the attention is available to think about other things or to be preoccupied with other things. So gradually, we are in a way collecting back all those scattered attention and apply them onto the meditation, engage them in the meditation. And if we really get very involved and absorbed in this whole process and with whatever you've come up during the process itself, by the time we arrive at the very end of the meditation, it's not uncommon to find that we have already forgotten what it is that we are so preoccupied with. What is the train of thoughts that we are going round and round before we start the meditation. So it has, in so doing, helped us to bring about a process of releasing, of letting go of certain concerns or certain agitation. Okay, so that is one way we can see and use meditation as a supporting resource for ourselves. The other one is that with meditation, we can also use it as a way to support the heart, the source of the feel, in the sense the source of all the feelings and emotions, by reminding ourselves of feelings and emotions that we might have forgotten in the midst of dealing with a crisis or been overwhelmed with all the nitty-gritties of the particular situation we are involved in. And in those situations, we tend to be repeatedly find ourselves encountering a certain set of emotional responses, maybe anger, maybe grief, maybe resentment, maybe a lot of craving. So we are just constantly caught up in those emotional responses to the extent that we forgot that there are other kind of feelings that we can feel differently and we can be differently. It's almost as if those other feelings, those other situations fade away from our memory. We have forgotten about them. And we can make use of meditation as an opportunity to reactivate those memories, to reactivate those other feelings. And they help to balance things out. They help to pull us out of the vortex of a lot of this negative, destructive emotion, and help us come back to a state of balance, at least. Not necessarily a state of ecstasy, but at least a state where we are, we feel, we allow for different kinds of feelings, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, neutral feelings, so that we also, along with that, come a new perspective. We don't get too stuck in those old perspectives, and it sort of open things up for us and remind us of possibilities for ourselves. So today I thought we will meditate on one of these emotional states. I call it appreciative joy or sympathetic joy. Among the four of these heartfelt qualities that's often presented in Buddhist meditation: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic or appreciative joy, and equanimity. Joy is actually, for me, a difficult one to get in touch with, to actually allow it to come forth. It's a bit tricky, to feel joy. Joy has a sense of buoyancy and lightness to it. It gives a sense of lightness to the whole feel, whole body and mind, so that you can laugh at jokes, even though you are going through a tough time. You can see the funny side of things. You can remember good times, even though you acknowledge the tough times. You can awaken happy feelings, joyful feelings, and be appreciative of the good things that maybe we are currently enjoying, we still have with us, the good fortune, or appreciative of what we have previously enjoyed. And these are make for a kind of joyous feeling that uplift us, which is a very good counteracting force to despair, depression, when we feel weighed down or burdened. Yeah. So as usual, the way we do it in my low standard method is I use a few simple phrases to convey how I would express sympathetic joy or appreciative joy. And usually I just start with the words, the phrases, and then as I repeat them slowly in a certain rhythm, uh, I hope to trigger with those words corresponding memories of the past. I would say to myself, um, may my happiness continue, may my good fortune not diminish. I'll just repeat those, but I'm quite familiar with the words. So may my happiness continue, may my good fortune not diminish. So what are my happiness? What are my good fortune? What are past instances of happiness, happy times, joyful time, relaxing times? What are instances or examples of good fortune that I'm aware of, my own good fortune? No, not necessarily in a material sense. There are material aspects of it. Then there can be other aspects in terms of relationship, in terms of friendship, in terms of life experiences, life encounters, you know, opportunities that I have enjoyed. So, and usually I just leave it open, and be ready to welcome in, things that I have long forgotten, but nonetheless real and have happened or still happening for me. And it's like a surprise, a little nice surprise to say, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about that. Isn't that nice? Or I say, oh, that's right. There is that wonderful memories that have come back to me, and I can rejoice. I can express appreciation. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And in this way, we create a new perspective, or we shift into a new perspective for ourselves to see our life from a different point of view, and also to open the heart to welcome in different feelings, a feeling of feeling much lighter, feeling happy, feeling appreciative, feeling a sense of gratitude for having had those experiences or still have them in our life, and to sometimes to be happy for not necessarily I would say no for no good reason, but definitely not for any necessary any big serious reason, but even for these tiny little things that we can appreciate in our life. Right? So let's do a meditation, very self-centered, which is fine, just focusing on our own happiness and good fortune, and see whether we can bring forth a sense of appreciative joy. So once again, settle ourselves, our body back into a meditation posture. So take a few moments, allow the body to adjust, to find its way back into meditation, into the meditation posture. Check in to make sure that the posture we adopt has not create more tension for us, has not introduced additional pain or discomfort. That overall we feel well supported in the posture. Might be helpful to start with attending to the breath for a while. You might like to start with a few deep breaths, breathing in and out deeply, and on the out breath to release. We allow our breath to settle back to its natural rhythm without the need to control the breath in any way. Don't have to make ourselves breathe better or more efficient. Just return the breath to the body, allow the body to breathe itself. And for the first few minutes, simply rest our attention on the breath sensations throughout the body, and invite the attention to come back to the breath if we do get distracted. And just as before, breathing in is an opportunity to be back here and now, to be in touch not only with the breath, but also with our own body. And breathing out is an opportunity to say the word release, to remind the body and mind that they can release anything unhelpful, anything unwanted. Maybe they can flow away with the breath. A good place to begin with releasing is actually with our face. So often we do unconsciously tense up the facial muscles again and again. And if that's happening to us, now is a good opportunity. Breathing out, releasing. See if we can relax those facial muscles. Welcome in a feeling of softness, the softening of the muscles of the face, as well as a feeling of relaxation, a feeling of ease. And to allow ourselves to enjoy, however brief or mild, that sense of pleasure or relaxation or release may be. Putting aside the breath for the time being, let's turn our attention to the cultivation of appreciative joy. And in this method, we make use of a few simple phrases that best express our understanding of appreciation, of gratitude, of joy, of rejoicing. Feel free to start with my phrases and then change them as you go along, add or subtract, replace the words. Find a set of phrases that works for you. And slowly, mindfully, we simply repeat the phrases, pause in between, repetition. Give your body and mind time to respond to that. And see if we can bring forth once again to our awareness instances in our life, past or present, times of happiness and good fortune. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. So slowly and mindfully, just start with the phrases, stay connected with the intention, the meaning behind the words, and offer it to ourselves. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And simply allow the mind to begin a gentle search of the past and present, and to present to your awareness any example, any instances worthy of rejoicing. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. Coming back to the phrases, if we do get distracted elsewhere, find ourselves falling asleep, or nothing comes forth, we're drawing a blank, which is actually quite normal. Just stay with the verses, stay with the words, repeat them slowly, mindfully. Stay connected with the intention behind the words and see what happens. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. Coming back to the words, and as after we say the words, give yourself a pause, some time for memories to resurface. Quite often, it's because we aim too high. We look for some great accomplishments, and we forgot all the little moments along the way in our life, moments of surprises, moments of connection with loved ones, moments where we feel excited and happy for no good reason, especially when we are young and more innocent. Maybe some of those pleasant memories can come back to us and we can really rejoice in having them in our life. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. Again and again, invite your attention to come back to the words and come back to the intention behind the words. And as you say those words, see if you can really mean them with sincerity. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And in the light of those words, awaken memories of the past. Think about the people we encounter in our life and those that are still with us. Think of the connection, the interactions. Think of all the different activities that we have engaged in, the small and the big. Think of the kind of circumstances and opportunities we are in a blessed way we have within ourselves in our life. And as they come forth, as we take a look at them, take a look at those memories, take a look at those people, see if we can find deep within our own heart the feeling of joy, of appreciation, of gratitude. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. Coming back to your phrases, your words, if we do find ourselves distracted, and on occasions where nothing comes forth, the heart, the mind refuse or resists responding to what we are trying to do. Not a problem at all. Simply turn our attention, rest on the phrases, the words we are using, and each time we slowly, mindfully repeat the phrases, see it as offering, offering our deepest aspiration for ourselves, sending forth our best wishes for ourselves. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. So coming back to the phrases as we say the words with as much sincerity we can find, offering them to ourselves. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. See if you can get a sense that by bringing together all these different memories, the awareness of these different aspects of our life that are worthy of rejoicing, we are also describing a very unique, unrepeatable life, which is ours. No one will have the same circumstances, no one will have the same experiences, the same sort of interactions, which make our life something truly unique and truly unique to ourselves. Maybe that in itself is worth rejoicing. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And then finally, we put aside the words, the phrases. Imagine we gather up all the positive momentum we create this evening through our meditation practice that's dedicated towards the fulfillment of our aspirations and wishes for ourselves and others. That's dedicated that our meditation practice can become a resource or support to us not only during good times, but also during bad times, and that anything positive and helpful that come out of the meditations, may they somehow stay with us, linger in body, mind, and heart, so that they can continue to benefit us. And so that's what we have. Hope the two meditation I introduced today, or another meditation as well, can become. We can see them as something we can fall back on and we can rely on at times of need, and that they can help awaken or remind us of the positive qualities and the resources we have within ourselves. And they will be a good support for us. Just one announcement, my classes this Wednesday are cancelled due to our conference, the conference organized by Vajrayana Institute. And I hope you have a good week ahead and hope to see you next week. So thank you very much and good night.